Hello friends, welcome back. BigDenoPlays, Kingdom Death. It is time for Lantern Year 24 and we are going to face off against a level 2 king. Boom, the king. They await the king. Having a wonderful time with the Gambler's Chest. Definitely missing a lot of things along the way. Looking forward to playing another playthrough and filming it, but in the meantime, here's a few things that I have missed. Supreme Cuisine, Returning Survivors gain +2 Lumi. We only gained that maybe 2 things ago. I definitely haven't been doing that, so something for me to remember. One thing I have really enjoyed is how the knowledge and philosophies are changing up the context of the game, and previously an innovation that I would not have rated very highly was partnership. However, we have 2 survivors now that both of which there's a pretty significant impact if you do not depart with certain conditions met. For example, LY24 has the neuroses important. When you depart, if your total number of armor points is higher than everyone else, you're full of confidence. However, that's not always possible, particularly if you have more than one optimist. But if you arrive to the showdown with your at the survival limit, you gain 2 reroll tokens. Partnership, arrival, when you both arrive, gain survival up to the survival limit. It's completely changed how much value I place on this thing. And not just optimism, but collectivism as well is another one. When you depart, set your survival to 0. When you arrive, set it to there. So I'm really actually quite excited about what I'm going to learn with the new philosophies and how much it's going to change and influence up other things that I have previously potentially thought were not great. I'm looking forward to using Cannibalise in our next playthrough because there's a few things that Cannibalise has had added that may be enough to swing it around closer to Graves. I still think Graves is the preferable choice, but Cannibalise may be good enough to at least have a conversation. Let's go on a hunt for the king. I will go through our survivors that we're taking into this showdown. Level 2, we will be doing herb gathering and mineral gathering at this point. There's our herb gathering and mineral gathering. Here's our king cards, and here is our basic hunt event. Ooh, our basic hunt events right there. Okay, so let's depart. Now we had Stranger in the Dark and we rolled a 3-4, so we will depart. When we depart, any female survivor gains 10 survival. However, LY24 is departing with no survival because she does not have the most armor points, and Lupin is departing with nothing. Rowena is also departing with 0 survival because she is a collectivist. Great. So we're going for the werewolf strategy for this fight, and if you're not familiar with the werewolf strategy, it's been in previous fights where I've done. Lupin has an absolutely outrageous stat line. Absolutely outrageous, and he's also wielding the Dome Buster. So as you can see, he hits on a -3+, and he's at strength 27. The king is actually toughness 22 at this level, and so he starts at a base +5 over the toughness of this monster. With the Dome Buster and Surpass 5, if you successfully do a wound, and it is 5 or higher than the monster's toughness, you gain an additional wound. Because he also has no armor, and he has Limit Break, not Limit Break, Razor's Edge, all of his attacks with melee weapons gain Devastating 1. Good, very good. So it's a short-term thing. His systemic pressure is going to continue to just skyrocket. We've given him 1 Dried Acanthus, that is all I've got in the storage, and that is it. So hopefully we're going to get 2 or 3 swings out of him before the monster kicks the shit out of him back. Rowena, she's our tank. She's rocking Evasion 7. She is wearing our Lantern Festival gear, which is going to also increase, which is wonderful. And then Salazar, he's using the bow. He's also got High Roller, Physiognomy to give us a few extra things. He also gains +2 to his armor from the Violet Armor Charm, which is great. And yeah, so this is probably at this point in time, it's probably my best group, or very close to it. What is the bow wielding at? Strength 14. Wow, so we still need a 6 and 8 to wound with the arc bow. That's suboptimal. We'll just have to make sure we trigger High Roller when we can. The axe here on Alohomora is probably our other major wounding option. So if we get to it and we lose Alohomora and we lose Lupin, it's going to be a tough struggle from that point. So anyway, let's get into it. I don't think, that's right. So Alohomora, I did have a couple of endeavours left to spend, so the intent was to give Alohomora 2 Insanity, and that is all. That was instead of the Shrine that I was going to do, but because we're going for Werewolf strategy, the Shrine does not get used. Cool, so we'll move into a hunt event, and this will be with Alohomora, and it is the King's Procession. Oh my god. Start the showdown immediately, ambush the monster if we can roll an 8+ here. Is this potentially like a reroll? Do we potentially look for a lifetime reroll for this? When do you get that reroll token? It's at the start of the thing, isn't it? Oh, alright, I'm just going to roll. If we get an 8 here, this is massive. Get it in the box, Deno. Oh, it's a 5. Okay. All survivors lose 1d5 survival as they wait out the procession in fear. So I'm not going to do it, but if I was to use my lifetime reroll, yeah, see, it would be silly to chase an 8 with a lifetime reroll, but I had to know. 1d5 survival, so we'll lose 2 survival. Great. Oh, would have loved to have ambushed. That would have been awesome. Next person down on the list is Lupin, and Lupin is doing this basic hunt event. It's a random event. 5. Did we do that already? Is that Lantern Horde, or is it the one that's very hot? No, Flesh Fields. If we have a sickle, add 1/4 to your roll if you have a sickle. Oh, this is the one where we could harvest basic hide resources. 3 and 4 is 7. No complications. So that's that one done. The next one is a king, and this one is done by Rowena. Fireworks. Do we have 16 plus combined courage? It's looking good. 7 and 5 is 12. 16. May choose to force themselves forward. If they do, begin the showdown immediately. The king starts with 3 ruined clothes, persistent injuries in play. Do not perform their come into play effects. Okay. Boom. We start the showdown immediately. That's great. All right. I'll go set it up. We don't get our hurt gathering. That's annoying. Alrighty. So we have 2 terrain cards to bring into play. a nightmare tree. Ooh, blocks survivor and monster, and 2 acanthus plants. Don't really need either of those. The nightmare tree, can I climb on it? It's an obstacle. Cannot move, impassable. But we're actually going to put those acanthus plants out this time. And we're going to put survivors on them because I remember one of the cool things from the last fight. Oh, we would have had to face bone eaters too. Cool, cool, cool. All right, so we have started with level 2, so let's go and have a look over here. So there's a new trait in play which is called half power. So half power says the king starts with 4 random energy cards in play. Do not perform their effects. So we shall do that. We start with death, creation, creation, creation. Okay. Okay. So we have 3 of the clothed persistent injuries in play, and they are exclude the spaces from the zone of hush. So, and then at the start of the monster's turn, if all energy cards are in play, draw AI. Ignore this effect if all survivors are hushed. So that is literally impossible for us at this point. Oh, maybe it's not. We'll see. So on arrival, I wonder if I click apply arrival bonuses, if that worked. No, it didn't work. On arrival, Alohomora goes up to the survival limit, thanks to being a partner of 18. How good's that? Thanks to being a partner of Rowena, who also goes to 18. We've literally just bypassed the biggest neuroses issues of collectivism and optimism. I could not be happier about finding this loophole. What a great guy. We've done our physiognomy. Alice didn't gain any survival during the showdown or anything like that. I did switch this up. I gave her the sickle, but we didn't get to use it instead of the Grimjaw, because we're not going to make a wound with the old Strength 6 Grimjaw at this point. Okay, so that is everything done. So we will go on to the monster's turn. So I'll just make sure I've done everything. When it draws an AI, I've got to shuffle everything. Cool. So let's do that. So this is the hit location deck. I had to remove all of the clothes from that, which is why they're here. Boom, boom, boom. And then this is the AI deck. Boom, boom, boom. So it's +1 accuracy, +1 speed, and +1 damage. Okay, so on the arrival, Alohomora gets 2 reroll tokens. Love that. And that is all. On arrival, you get nothing. Rowena, on arrival, nothing. And Salazar, on arrival, nothing. Alice, sleepless, cannot gain survival during the Hunter Showdown. Yep, we're done. So the monster will draw an AI card, and we will kick off with this wonderful showdown. Here it is. Royal Tax. Oh my god, this is very bad. Okay. All right. So, Everyone is in facing. Now, who do we want to have hushed permanently here? Salazar. So let me just read hushed again. You are cloaked in silence. Ignore vibration damage. You are considered deaf. You cannot encourage, roar, scream, perform audible effects, or activate noisy gear. Let's say it's Scout's not in facing. Rowena's speed 5. So I think we could have Rowena gain hushed here. So let's spend a survival. Let's do some dashing. So Alohomora is going to dash. Lupin is going to dash. Salazar is going to dash. So Alohomora dash. Lupin dash. Rowena dash. No dash on Rowena. And Salazar dash. So they're all going to get out of the front. Might as well do a wound while we're at it, hey? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So at this point, I will also spend a survival on Lupin to surge. And he will have a swing with the Dome Buster. So that's at this point here. Oop. That's a 5. It is a hit. He hits on anything but a 1, and it is the Osseous Labyrinth. There is a reflex. We cannot trigger the reflex. Oh, sorry, we can trigger the reflex because there is a death energy in play. But we'd very much like to crit here. And so our critical effect is on a 10, 9, 8, 7. So we're critting on a 7. Potentially we'll use a Guardian reroll here to crit this so that we can bypass the reflex. Come on, Lupin. It's a 3. It's still a wound and it's still 3 wounds. What happens? Full move the monster forward. Any survivor it collides with will suffer. Oh, this could have actually just got us around the trick. What's its speed? Speed is 8. Do we try and reroll for a 7? It's a -1 evasion token. We're not really struggling to hit it, so I don't think we'll waste our reroll. So that is a wound. It does 3 wounds. 1, 2, 3. Before this reflex triggers, we will... How do we get rid of the energy, by the way? Don't know. Okay, so we will then spend a survival on Rowena, and she will do a dash as well. And she's going to move out of the way. 1, 2, 3, just to here. And then the king's going to go forward. And no one suffers the hits and no one loses the survival. That is the end of that. So Royal Tax now triggers. A random survivor in the monster's facing. Done. Draw all the monster's energy cards 1 by 1. That part I don't love. Archive Royal Tax. So remaining energy cards is 5. Catabolism, 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 death, death. So survive with the most survival loses survival. And so that is Alohomora loses 1, 2, 3, 4. And then Rowena 1, 2, 3, 4. And then catalyze a random survivor without the catalyzed survivor card, gains it, and gains strength tokens. Catalyze, catalyze, catalyze. Actually, let's randomize it like we're supposed to. Catalyze a random survivor. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Rowena. 2 strength tokens. 1, 2. Um, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6 is Lupin, the man, the myth, the legend. I don't love that. And yeah, Lupin's going to die. That's a real shame. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's the Scout. Oh no, the Scout is also going to die. Gain an evasion token because you're insane. I don't think anyone else gains a token. They just gained innate stuff. We didn't do Song of the Brave, so no tokens. Yep. Okay. So that is the end of Legendary Tax. So now we draw an AI card. Let's hope it doesn't have requirements. It does. Metabolic Finale. The closest threat in facing, none. The closest survivor. So it is our blue survivor. So Rowena. Okay, Rowena will spend a survival to put up 2 blocks. That's not what I want. I want this. Using a surge and the beacon shield. Boom, boom. So that is the end of her turn. So the closest survivor done. Ghost, geometry, and synchronic attack. So there is no way to ghost geometry that. So we're going to move like so. And so this is speed 6, which goes to 7. Fun. Speed 7. And we are hitting on a 2+, and that goes to 9+, which goes back down to 8+ because of the accuracy token. So 8+. Oh, that's way too many 8s. Oh my God, 5 hits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 2 of those are blocked. That's a bad time to roll that, Deno. Oh, do you have, no. Waste, waste, waste. Fortunately, these are down to damage 4. We will dodge 1, so we go down to waste damage 0. And then the after damage effects triggers, lose 2 survival, gain 2 strength tokens, and the catalyze survivor status. Then suffer monster level +2 hits for 4 damage? Oh my goodness. This is turning into a very bad turn of events right now. Wow, that card is very powerful. I guess any of these cards that have the cards in play. So we're suffering 4 more hits. Can't surge. Don't roll a waste. Waste, body, body, head. So that hit goes down to 3. So she's knocked down and takes a severe injury roll. And then the head and the body and the body. Okay, so her severe injury roll feels bad. Yeah. On the waist, a 9. So she has no systemic pressure, and she has no knowledge that would prevent this. Waist is a 9, bruised tailbone. You cannot dash until the showdown ends. You are knocked down. Gain a bleeding token. Bruised tailbone. Okay, at this point, she's get knocked down, but then it's the start of our turn, so she stands back up. Okay, that is unfortunate turn of events. Lupin is speed what? 5. So yeah, we would have probably done that. Lupin goes into the rear. Oh, at the start of his turn, he discards one of these strength tokens and he suffers 4 damage to a random hit location. He discards his Dry Acanthus and he moves on. Oh, did I remember to get 2 survival from the Acanthus? I definitely didn't. So he will swing with the Dome Buster. He rolls a 7. That is a hit, and the hit location is the Majestic Gut. Critical wound on a 7. This may be one we'll consider critically wounding, or attempting to re-roll to critically wound. We do critically wound. Awesome. You strike the monster's center. If there are any catabolism energy in play, it violently exhales the stale air of the labyrinth and suffers an additional wound. It suffers 4 wounds. 1 from Dome Buster, 2 from Surpass, 3 from Devastating, thanks to Limit Break, 4. We did 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Systemic pressure is 8. Oh, Lupin, why do you die? Lupin is definitely dying this turn. But that's good. We will spend 2 survival on... Oh, sorry. She'll stand up and she will use her action, Rowena. First of all, she discards a strength token from Catabolism. And she suffers 4 damage to a random hit location. Don't be the waist, it's the hands. That's not a hit, so she does not get -1 to that like she would on that. Oh, at the start of our act, everyone gains a survival except for Alice. Because Alice is a dreamer. Speaking of Alice, she's in big trouble here. So her catalyzed card triggers, boom. She does a 4 damage to a random hit location. The body, she's knocked down. She will be encouraged or fist bumped by her own survival that Rowena spends. She will stand up, and then at the start of her act, she will get inside the hidden face. Get out of there, Rowena. Get out of there, Alice. Yeah, she's not doing a lot this turn, this fight. So that's her act done. Her act done, his act done. So if we go 1, 2, 3, 4 to here, and we will attempt to swing with the Usurper. That's 2 speed. Accuracy 3. Accuracy 1. and Braggart. Specialization axe. Great. So we're hitting on 4s. A 6 and a 7. Reflective coins and stone seam. There is a reflex. The attacker and any adjacent survivors. Oh, this is bad times, isn't it? We'll do this one. So we'll attempt to wound it. It's a critical, critical hit location. It's not a crit, but it is a wound. What is the axe rules? Oh, yes. Dominated. I'm just going to go read dominated, but I think we're going to get out of this in a very nice way. Dominated. When a survivor is dominated, they are knocked down and cannot be encouraged or fist bumps. They are no longer dominated when they stand. Great. So we do this one. Perform ghost geometry targeting the attacker. Ghost geometry, as many other survivors as possible. So we'll go here. She goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She's knocked down and she suffers brain damage, which is 2, 3, 4. Alohomora will then use the usurper's ability, which is if you would be knocked down by an adjacent monster, you leverage yourself with the axe. Instead, the monster is knocked down and suffers a wound, limit once per showdown, which is going to bypass this reflex. So 1, 2 wounds, and then she'll attempt to wound again. That's a 5, that's a wound. Reflex is ignored. I will just double check her strength and everything. I'm pretty sure that's a wound. It is 22. She has not surged at this point in this turn, and so we will absolutely surge here. Gained a wound. So with this surge, the axe is hitting on a 3+, 2 hits. Oh, 1/3. Come on. The majestic chest, and the first strike, we get to ignore this reflex because the monster is knocked down. The monster can be knocked down. I feel like I asked this last time. It was the gambler who couldn't be knocked down. So we have 2 reroll tokens, and we also have Axe Specialist, which allows us to reroll a failed wound attempt. Limit once per attack. So we'll do this one. That's an 8. We have a luck. So that's a crit on a 9. No, just a wound. And here, that's a wound. So we'll just take the 2 wounds. We're not getting in range with the bow. So we will move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Already dashed. Do we crest crown and reshuffle the hit location deck? No, we put up a block and we call that a day. I didn't discard any hit locations. All right, monster's turn. So at the start of its turn, if all energy cards are in play, draw AI. Ignore this effect if all survivors are hushed. Not all survivors are hushed. So we draw an AI card. So this card is Photo Lantern Synthesis. So he's placed in the center of the board. Boom. Count the number of times the lantern keyword appears in all survivors' gear grids. Then draw that many energy cards. If no energy cards are drawn this way, the king shudders and a random survivor suffers 4 hits for 4 damage each. Knockback 6. Okay. Lupin is about to die from a severe injury roll with systemic pressure 8. So he's going to spend a survival to dash and surge. This is an important roll. We will absolutely use our rerolls should we need to from Guardian. Move to here. Swing with the Dome Buster. We hit on a 3+. Hit location is an inflorescence. So the inflorescence is discarded. And we draw one of these cards randomly. And we get the Dark Forest. Cool, so this fight is incredible, by the way. Here is the Dark Forest. So this is to do a wound. And if we do a wound on this reflex, it will actually do 3 wounds. So we do indeed do 1, 2, 3 wounds, which takes us to systemic pressure 10. I've enjoyed the werewolf strategy. The werewolf strategy has been fun. Set your survival to the survival equal of the lowest survivor. I think he is the lowest, maybe. Yep. So he's done. Reflex over. Okay, so now count the number of times the lantern keyword is in play on our things. So we have 1 lantern, scrap lantern, and does it say keywords? Yeah, keyword. Yeah, so it's 1, but draw that many energy cards. A random survivor suffers 4 hits for 4 damage each and knockback 6. I'd really love for this survivor that we select to be Lucius. So we'll go, or maybe we'll do it this way. We won't include Alice in the randomizer. Come on, Lupin. Oh, no, not that. Come on, Lupin. Ah, it's her. Okay, so 4 hits, 4 damage each, and knockback 6. So the 4 hits for 4 damage, we do not have a block up. So these 4 hits on Alohomora, body, waist, boots. And these are 4 damage each. Body, waist, boots. Knockback 6. We now draw an AI. And this is still not our AI card, by the way. We still haven't drawn the AI card for the turn. That was just the half power. Metabolic Fire, the closest threat in facing. Oh, wow. It's our Lantern Chick again. Perform Ghost Geometry. Hey, that's pretty good. So if we do that, it's no one else, which is nice. All survivors in the combustion zone gain +1 strength token and the catalyze card. So she gains a strength token and the catabolize card. Yes, I have one of those. Another one. They suffer 4 hits for 4 damage and knockback 10. Boots, waist, body. We'll spend a survival to dodge. We'll also should probably spend a survival to block here too, shouldn't we? Yep. Surge, block. So one of those hits is discarded, and I can dodge one. So we'll dodge the body, block one of the boots. Boots, hands, and knockback 10. Okay, now we draw an AI card. The monster stretches to impossible heights. Turn to face the most survivors. All survivors in facing. That's a good outcome for us. All survivors in facing. Intimidate all targets. Each target suffers 4 brain damage. Lupin, 4 brain damage. About to die anyway. Salazar, 4 brain damage. And he's fine. Each target is dominated and gains +1 torment. I'm not going to bother with the other guy. Great. That's it. So the domination is done because we both stand up at the start of turn thanks to fist and tooth proficiency. At this point, we will just do Lupin, the werewolf. So he loses a strength token. He does 4 damage to a random hit location. That hit location is completely irrelevant because, oh look, he has to do a severe injury roll with -10 to the roll. You've joined the hordes, Lupin, but you did a great job, mate. You did a great job. Well done. Perfect. We will do Aloha Mora. So she loses. Is this also a hit? I can't remember. Catalyze. 4 damage to random hit location. Don't roll the legs or the arms. It's the waist. She also archives her Catalyze card because the strength tokens are gone. She'll spend a survival to dash. And she is then going to swing with the Usurper. She has 2 reroll tokens. So we'll spend one of our reroll tokens to reroll this one. We get a 10, which means we get the reroll token back, thanks to positivity, and inflorescence, and the majestic cape. Ooh, this could be all of the the thing. Fingernail Castle. Okay, so we will do this one first. So we have Axe Specialization, so we can reroll a failed wound attempt. We're wounding on 2+. So that is a wound, and it is also a critical wound. Ruined Robes, gain of Void Fabric. I'm not sure this is a good thing, actually. We're about to do the thing. If all 4 ruined persistent injuries are in play, Limitless King. All 4 are in play, so we have Limitless King. What does Limitless King do? Sound becomes force. The king's presence blooms. The survivors are blown off their feet. They suffer knockback 5 away from the monster. So that one's ignored. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Each survivor notices danger one at a time. Okay, so if you are hushed or have the King Step fighting art, you do not feel endangered by this new reality. Proceed to the 8, 9, 10. Going to gain +1 evasion for Alohomora once per lifetime. Because she is hushed, because she's wearing the Death King plate mail. So that's very nice. Place the Unbound trait into play. I don't know what that does. Oh. The full power of the king is unleashed. AI cards no longer require energy. At the start of the monster's turn, all survivors that are not hushed suffer 1d10 damage to monster level hit locations. Okay, let's go. The following effects are in play: Vocal Force, Impact Force, and Instrument Force. All instruments. Whoa, Instrument Force. Incredible. At the start of the monster's turn, all survivors that are not hushed. So that's going to be next turn. Yucky. Did I do the wound there? Have. Now. Okay, so we now need to notice danger on Salazar. He rolls a 1. Suffer the head explosion, severe injury. I don't think we'll do that, Salazar, actually. I think we'll use our Guardian reroll for that one. We'll roll a 4 instead. Suffer 5 damage to the legs and knock back 5 towards the farthest board edge. Farthest board edge. 1, 2, 3, 5. Done. And on Rowena, she rolls a 5, which is suffer 5 brain damage and 3 damage to the body hit location. And that's it. Our wonderful friend with the arc bow, we really need to do more damage at this point. So accuracy 2, physiognomy, high roller. We're probably chasing crits at this point. Salazar's not our best option, unfortunately. You got anything here, Rowena? No. Oh, Beacon Shield. What's toughness is the Beacon Shield? Strength, rather, is the Beacon Shield. 10. Need a 12. You got no luck. Ooh, this is going to be bad times. Rowena can't dash. So she's just going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put up 2 block from the Beacon Shield. She takes another strength token off. Onto the body. She is knocked down and she has to do a severe injury roll. And she rolls a 4 on the body is a gaping chest wound. Where is that? There. And our little scout is also going to have to take to the hands. 1, 2, 3, 4. Severe injury roll for the scout. She rolls a 10, so she's knocked down. Doesn't matter. Catabolise is gone. Alright, it has to be our Phoenix guy at this point. The arc bow is wounding on a reasonable amount at this point in time, so, well, it's not, but we've got still one reroll in play. Dash, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In range, shooting with the arc bow. Done, 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 done. So the arc bow hits on a 6+ down to 4+. That's a 1. We get to reroll missed hits with the bow specialist. It's an 8. It's a hit, and we get the 13th arm. This is a risk. So we've got a reroll on this, and we need to crit on just a 10 or a wound. All non-blind survivors is greater than their understanding. What's his understanding? His understanding is 4. Suppose we can reroll that. Is it a hit? No, it's just the head explosion. Oh, yeah, he's just going to get his 7 back. This is an interesting decision. I just need to see if I've got anything else that I can do. So if I crit, it's wonderful. If I fail to crit, I'm a 50-50 to die. Salazar, I'm probably okay with him dying. High roller's nice, but I think I really need to do the wounds here. Alright, so we're wounding on an 8 and critting on a 10. It's a risk. 4, we use our Guardian reroll. 9, it's not a crit. Arcbow's not deadly, is it? No. And then, do we suffer head explosion? We do not. Alright, so we still actually have one Guardian reroll left. I've only done 1. So we do a wound. Does not suffer that. That's that. And that is the end of our turn. So at the start of the next turn, we will refresh everything. So the monster's turn, due to, oh hang on, what happened with Unbound? When a survivor is knocked down, nope, didn't encourage, nope, didn't gain any. Instrument force, man, you got to bring an instrument to fight this guy. How good's that? Okay, so at the start of the monster's turn, it's going to draw an AI card. 1, 2, 3. Thanks to Unbound, that is currently in play. At the start of the monster's turn, all survivors that are not hushed suffer 1d10 damage to hit locations. This is a huge roll. A 1. And so Salazar takes 2 damage to the head. Blue chick, 1 damage to the body, 1 damage to the boot. So she will have a severe injury roll at this point. Oh, reduced damage maybe hit. Body, a 9. Collapsed lung, -1 movement token, +1 bleeding token. She's in trouble. And 1 damage to Alohomora. That was a huge roll, waist and boot. Huge roll. So that's the end of Hushed. Oh, Alohomora didn't suffer that because she is actually literally hushed. And that's it for Unbound. So we then draw an AI card and we draw Metabolic Force, the closest threat in facing. So it will actually be our dude. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to dash and surge with Alohomora to move in and have a swing on this flow. Huge rolls. See if we can hit. We roll a 1 and a 2. We have 2 reroll tokens. Does the 2 hit? No. So we will reroll both of those with our 2 reroll tokens. Yuck. 9 and a 9 means we get both of our reroll tokens back. Don't be the trap. Oh, double inflorescence. That's okay. So Axe Wound. We have a luck on Alohomora, so to wound. We'll spend a reroll token to attempt to reroll. That's a 9, that's a crit. Perfect. Gain a wound. Does that axe have Savage? No. I need 1 more wound. 2 more wounds. The Spire of Eyes, there's a reflex. That's a wound, it's not a crit, there is no crit anyway. 1. There's no knockback. All survivors lose 2 survival, 4 survival in the monster's field of view. So it's not Alice, but okay. So that's all successfully wounded. We have 1 card left. Okay, it's speed 7 though. This is the problem here. So our evasion is not high enough on Salazar for this to do very well for us, but catalyze maybe. We've got an evasion 4, I suppose. We have a block up. Probably okay. We ignore the first hit. We ignore the second hit. We're evasion. Got a dodge. Yep, we'll let this come through. Boom. 3 is a miss. 4 is a miss. 6 is a hit. 9 is a hit. 8 is a hit. The 6 gets blocked. The 9 gets knocked over from the Phoenix placard. We'll spend a survival to dodge this one, which means we ignore the after damage effects of that. That was our first AI card, thanks to all of the cards being in play at the start of the turn. And so now we do this one. Awaited Crush. All survivors in facing. Turn to face the most survivors. We get to choose who we want here. We'll just keep it at Salazar. He'll gain a torment, he'll gain knockdown, and he suffers 4 brain damage. Then he stands up at the start of our turn. If we are really lucky, we get this done here. If we're really lucky. Salazar will spend a survival, and this is a very cool play from me. Well done, me. We're going to use the Crest Crown to shuffle the deck. There's just too much risk of a trap now. So I can't believe I've been doing all that off screen, but anyway. And then we'll do her. She moves into the rear. She is hushed. She'll swing with Usurper. That's a 7 and a 7. That's 2 hits. The Majestic Gut, which has a failure. And the Reflex. All right, we need to crit on a 9. Crit on a 9 and it's knocked down. Have to achieve this successful. It's not. We'll spend a reroll token. Come on, Deno. Come on. Oh, 2. Is that enough to wound, actually? I think it still is a wound. Yeah, it's still a wound, but it's not a crit. We have to do Kingdom Death. Yep, alright, that's a wound. And we go to Kingdom Death, which I've never done before. Here it is. We do need this page. Okay, place your survivor at the start of the space. On the start space. Boom. When a survivor is in Kingdom Death, move all labyrinth tokens in play to their corresponding spaces on this story event. We have the Dark Forest, which is this one. We have the Fingernail Castle, do we? No, we don't. Oh yeah, we do have the Fingernail Castle. We have the Lightning Forest. I'm actually not sure if we have the Lightning Forest, but we do not have the Lux Miseriola. We have the Spire of Eyes. One of these is not in here. I'm not sure which one. Because what I've just discovered is that there's 5 of these cards, but there's 6 tokens, so I don't know how you get the last one in play. Place your survivor here. When a survivor is in Kingdom Death, when the trap is drawn, the monster's realm is churned. At the beginning of your act, move up to 3 spaces. If you end on a labyrinth token, explore that location. Choose any option. So, if we go to the Dark Forest, we can discard a death energy in play. Cool. I'm guessing the Spire of Eyes is probably not the one we want to see. Alright. So this was done in her act. So she doesn't get to do anything now. She can't do anything. She's in Kingdom Death. She's stuck. Salazar's going to go. I did just remember that he had Fingernail Door, and so he took a 9 from old mate before, and he still has his block in play. Actually, we'll discard his block because he's going to discard anyway, and that means that we will gain an insanity back. We've only got 2 wounds to do here. So, rolling to hit with the arc bow, we hit on a 6, 5, 4 with a reroll. We roll a hit, it's an 8, and we get the Osseous Labyrinth. So we can't... I was going to try and avoid that Osseous Labyrinth reflex thing, but I think we're probably okay. Any survivor it collides with suffers for 4 damage and lose 4 survival. He basically regenerates all of his damage, so we're fine. So we're just going to do the wound. It's a 9. And then the reflex triggers, so he's going to suffer 4 hits for 4 damage. He ignores the first hit. So we'll ignore that to the body or whatever. And then loses 4 survival. We're supposed to get 1 survival at the start of each turn, which I haven't been doing. And these are hits. And because of that, he reduces 3. This guy's unkillable. How good's that? 1, 2, 3. I need to use him as my tank more often. Waist. 1, 2, 3. Head. 1, 2, 3. So that's the Osseous Labyrinth. We do the wound. The king moves forward. 1, 2. Let's go over here. He's there. He's knocked down. She has to go. She takes 4 damage to a random hit location. She takes it to the hands. I think that's a severe injury roll for her. No, it's not. And she loses her -1 movement. She will move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and she'll put up a block, which is double block. It's the monster's turn. So the monster's going to draw an AI card. He has no AI cards left, so he's just going to do his basic action. He's going to ghost, geometry, and attack. We get to choose who we want that to be. And so we'll have this be him. He's going to stand up here. We'll do ghost, geometry, like so. The attack roll. So this is where high roller becomes awesome, by the way. Speed. So accuracy hitting on whatever. We got a lantern 10, so we'll use high roller to take one of those 10s. We have one of those hits discounted. We can dodge another one of those hits with Salazar. It gains insanity. And so it's 1 hit in total. And that hit does 4 damage because it's -1 to the body. And that's all. Then he will do this and we will do it again, but at this point in time we will spend a survival to surge. Or do we just cop this because what do we get from Kingdom Death? I don't think we get anything. Yes, he'll just try and use a critical or use his fists. 6 is a hit because he's got 2 accuracy. There is a critical, and we gain a death medal and we kill him. Woof! Incredible fight. Wow, incredible fight. I wish I could express how much I enjoy that fight. All right, what a crazy fight. I'm sure I missed some things. That's the second time ever I've fought that guy. It's the first time I've ever fought a level 2, starting with energy cards in play. There definitely needs to be some way to clear those energy cards because, because that's painful otherwise. But we made it. 200 XP, 1 weapon proficiency level. No, we don't do that. We go here, complete showdown. Let's make sure we've marked off bow. Did we get a proficiency point? Yes. Rowena, did we get a proficiency point? No. Aloha Mora, we did get an axe. And that is it. So we will complete the showdown. We will gain 200 XP. Rowena may ponder collectivism, Salazar may ponder fascism, and we will gain 2 collective cognition. We will return and advance the year. Rewards, 4 basic, 7 king. We did get a death medal out of that too, which is good. So 1 monster hide, 2 monster hide, 3 monster bone, 4 monster organ, 5 a love juice, very good. And king resources. Stone infant. Pylorix, ooh, I think we needed one of those. 3 majestic arm, 4 king's coin, 5 ancient blade, 6 king's cloth, 7 pylorix. And we got the void fabric as well in the fight. Settlement event. Let's flip 2 of these bad boys. And we've got plenty of survivors, so cut it here. We do Glossolalia is a good one, but I don't really want to lose science events. And Stranger in the Dark. We literally, I won't take that one because I just had that one on top. So we'll instead take Death. Nominate a survivor to die. Oh, wow. Clan of Death, innovation. Survivors cannot spend endeavours this Lantern year. Do we need to spend endeavours this year? I am not sure, actually. I don't need to make leather. I am not sure. We get a +2 permanent luck. Who would we kill here? It'd be someone like Lucius, Myrtle. If we kill Protego, departing survivors gain 1 insanity. I think we'll do Glossolalia. And we'll actually nominate the person who's going to wear Dolores. Was it Dolores? No, Alohomora. We'll nominate Alohomora. Glossolalia, she rolls an 8. 2 understanding, mother of words. Glossolalia. That death one was actually quite interesting. No other story events. Let's just check the number of endeavours. We had 4 returning survivors. I think 4 of them were Tinkers. Tinker, so that's 8 plus 2 dying plus a cooking. So returning survivors gain 2 Lumi. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Rowena really nearly died, by the way. 1, 2. She was pretty close. She's skipping the next hunt, Rowena? No, she's good. But Rowena can ponder collectivism. Collectivism. Monsters Roar. Gain 1 Lumi and roll 1d10. Main 1 Lumi and roll 1d10. She does not have that other thing, does she? No, she does not. A 10. I don't want a population, I want Legion. Draw and resolve lights in the sky, if you don't mind. Okay. I actually wanted Legion here. Draw and resolve lights in the sky. Let's do that because we have collective cognition 22. I had a look at Legion. It looks awesome. I'll pull it out and show you. Because it's great. Endeavours, we get +1 to all of these. We get Graves, face painting in a lantern. Yeah, I had a look at collectivism because I wasn't really understanding like what's the go? You depart with no survival. Once you get all for one up, it's all right. But this is Legion. So when another survivor in the settlement has Legion, gain +1. So what you do is you sculpture Legion, probably. Then Legion 2 is you may spend 3 Lumi to do it. When there are 8 survivors with Legion, which is obviously a little bit harder, but it is only cost 2 to buy. You get to Legion 3, which is you gain strength equal to the number of Legion survivors in the showdown board. So you're just getting extra strength, which seems pretty fun. I don't know what else happens in collectivism. That was the only one I looked at. But lights in the sky, very good. I'll keep that there. And that's the end of that. We had a Facism Ponder as well. I'm not sure what that one was. Let me check. Salazar, Pondering Facism 3. And he gains an 8. Stone Face Engraver. And if he endeavours at face painting this year, he gains an evasion. So we will endeavour at face painting this year purely so we gain an evasion. I'll go and spend that now. Do we get a face painting success? We do. Great. And he's a stone face engraver. So I'm beginning to think now that it's time I move my scout away from hiding and maybe into fighting. The werewolf strategy paid off there. We did a lot of early wounds, but I feel like we need more survivors doing more wounds. And so, yeah, I'm probably going to sculpt High Roller at this point. I feel like that is an effective use of our time. What am I doing? Stone Face Engraver on Salazar. Boom, done. A lot of these to spend, but we get +1 on these. Automatic writing, Crazed Fighting Art, Deep Listen, don't need +1 movement. Trepanning, don't need that. Don't have any broken ribs. Don't need a monster proficiency. Actually, we might look at that, maybe Bow. Gains deadly and loses cumbersome, which would be amazing. Don't need to worry about starvation. Don't need to worry about that. Don't need those likely. A game session. We need more black lichen. Pull binding chains, leather making, nightmare training, omega-3, organ grinder, hollow stone, partnership. We might do some more pairing off. Fermentation, scrap smelting, create a statue, shrine, supreme cuisine. Don't need to do any miracles. Okay, so we really have 0 things we want to spend endeavours on. Let's put our stuff in the storage. We deal ourselves here 1 death metal. Go to 5. That's good. King, we have a void fabric. We have a stone infant. We have a pylorix. We have a majestic arm. We have a king's coin. We have a ancient blade. We have a king's cloth. And we have a pylorix. Basic resources. We will do a thing, so we're just going to put a love juice and a hide into the thing, and let's flip our innovations and see what we've got. We've got a pretty trim deck at this point. Records, Forbidden Dance, Morgue. We'll choose Forbidden Dance. And we add the Forbidden Dance consequences to the deck. What is that? Heart Flute. Done. I'll go add Forbidden Dance. Boom. All of our king's stuff is done. Let's see if we can craft the king's armor set. I feel like we may be missing one thing that we can craft. Let's have a look. Kingsmith. The helm. What does the helm need? A pallium. Oh, that was the thing we missed a crit on. Ah, bummer. All right, well, we'll make the gauntlets. Craft. Oh, what do the greaves need? Oh, okay. Well, we'll make the greaves as well, because they need a king's coin and a death metal. So we'll just drop our death metal by 2. Boom, boom. Blacksmith location. We can build a lantern helm. And what do we need for gauntlets? Leather. So we'll craft some leather using another endeavour. And the leather that we will craft will come from 1 monster hide. There's a leather. Phoenix. Nothing from the Phoenix. Just need 2 more hide. I'll just check what we need to make stuff from the Kingsmith, because I don't want to use anything here. Okay. Royal shield we can make. Let's have a look at some Kingsmith gear, shall we? This is all new stuff. All All right, Royal Shield. After you attack with the weapon to the left of this, deflect 2 for free. Wow. Add 3 to all hit locations. Okay, well that's getting made. So let's Kingsmith. So we've got Gauntlets and Greaves. Gauntlets. Before drawing hit location. Oh my god. That is an incredible ability. Okay. Relax, Dino, relax. Okay, so I can make the Royal Shield. It's a Death Metal, a Stone, Infant, and a Void Fabric. So I could do that. We need a Pallium and a Death Metal for the Helm. Incredible. We've made a Kingslayer. The Royal Medallion we don't want to make. The Royal Lantern we can make. That's pretty awesome, actually. Wow. Grand Kingslayer. Devastating 1. Slow, sharp, devastating 1. It's a grand weapon. It's probably worth us pulling that. All right, we're definitely making the Royal Shield, right? So let's make that. And that leaves us the ability to craft a Grand Kingslayer or an Assassinator. The Assassinator is a Katar. Barbed 4. We need a Pallium. We need a specific Pallium. So we'll make that. And then if we go to the Blacksmith, we can make the Lantern. Oh, what do we need? 7 bone. We need 1 more bone. No. What about the leather? We need 1 more leather. So gauntlets, we need 2 more leather. Helm, we need 1 more bone. Greaves, wow, and that's all we need. So I don't think there's any way for us to get more basic resources right now. Sure wish we had Cannibalize. So you can get some basic resources from Cannibalize. We don't get another basic resource or random monster resource from that monster's deck because we didn't use the scavenger kit on him. We didn't use the dagger thing, so yeah. That is pretty much it. So I'm going to have to start rejigging things now. I think we need to really, like, the fact that we had the arc bow could only wound on a 9 or an 8 or a 9 was not ideal. So we've probably got to build that Grand Kingslayer, I think. So let's do that. Grand Kingslayer, 2 Death Metal, a Pylorix, and an Ancient Blade. Craft. Done. So that is going to be pretty much it for this phase. I might give birth to a few more children. Actually, let's see what knowledge cards we flip out and have a look at that, because that could influence something that we do. The level 3 king is toughness 25. I'm not sure if we can handle the swings that he does. The swings and arrows of outrageous fortune. let's actually use this one. Let's use this. So, rigorous study, we draw an additional knowledge card. Mentorship, just gain XP. The next survivor to adopt a philosophy. Group philosophy and ancient wisdom. So we're going to flip 4 cards. All for one is awful. Positivity is not too bad. Serial code is awful. Let's spend some Lumi. We can add a couple. So we'll spend 3 Lumi and add 3 more. 1, 2, 3. Call to arms. Relentless. Affirmation. That's all trash. It's all absolute trash. Give me something, you dogs. Here's 3 Lumi from Sybil. I guess we'll just, actually, what was that? What was that? 8 cost 1. Affirmation is you can spend insanity as survival. That's pretty good. Positivity, the reroll tokens. Meat shield we don't want. Call to arms is you can spend insanity to add 2 damage to a thing. What's a deep listen? No, I don't think I wanted any of these. Let's spend an organ and gain a weapon proficiency on someone who hasn't done that yet. Let's do it on the axe. Axe Master's good. Spend a love juice. Gain a weapon proficiency. Alrighty, that's it. We're going to come back next Lantern Year, friends, and we're going to hunt a king, and we'll toss up maybe hunting a level 3, which is an interesting question. But in the meantime, friends, hope you enjoyed. Catch you all in the next Lantern Year. Big Deno out.